Yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
Good morning. Good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
What's going on, my brother?
Oh, man, listen, man. God woke me up this morning. I'm doing good.
First and foremost, giving honor to the guy who allows us to come to you in this manner on a weekly basis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Speak On This show. I am R.W. Coolins. That's my boy, OT. We here, live and direct. One from Philly, one from Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
My brother said a little cold back there on the East Coast.
Yeah. A little chilly.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, man. Just a little bit chilly, bro.
844-904-2665. That's 844-904-2665. No matter what the situation is, let your voice be heard. I always ask to say what you mean what you say. Call in, get something off your chest.
Tell them
that's what we do here on the Speak On the Show.
Tell them how you feel this morning.
Say what you mean what you say. That's all I say. What you mean what you say. That's it. But look, before we get into the show, because we gotta have a show with a purpose.
Yes.
Gotta have a show with a purpose. Therese Joseph, good morning. Appreciate your support, your continued support. Appreciate you. Before we get in, we gotta have a party. As Tom Jordan, you say, a party with a purpose.
Yes,
so we're gonna have a show with a purpose.
Yes, sir.
You got an echo in the background, bro.
Well, that was.
You was playing with something. Never mind. Let me leave you alone. Let me leave you alone. Can I vote? Can I vote? Can I vote? That's the website. You see the website there. I'm gonna put the slides up in a minute. Willis Cheney, good morning, my brother. Appreciate you. Got time for you to come in here eventually, Mr. Willis Cheney, but we're gonna talk about that on another time. All right. Here we go, bro. Can I vote? That's the website.
Can I vote?
www.nass.org. Can I vote? I'm putting this out there. I'm gonna continue to put it out there. Go to the website, put your information in, make sure you're registered the way you're supposed to be registered. Make sure you're under your address is correct, all your information is correct, because I know we got about a year. I know the election ain't till next year, but we need to make sure that everybody's doing what they need to do ahead of time, not in the 23 hours and 59-minute mark and decide and realize that you can't vote. So www.nass.org. Can I vote? It ain't hard. I've done it. OT's done it.
Yep.
Just go in there, put your information in, make sure you're registered, your address is correct, make sure your information is correct, and then go like that. National Association of Secretaries of State. See, I remember that now. NASS. I've been doing it long enough. Don't judge me. Can I vote? NASS.org. org. Now, the reason I bring this up this morning, because we got to have a purpose this morning. The reason I'm bringing it up this morning is shut down. Government shut down. Tonight at midnight, if they don't pass some type of continuing resolution or some type of budget to fund the government, shut it down. They're going to shut it down.
Yeah.
And this ain't the first time. It probably won't be the last. Probably won't be the last. The longest one we had was back in 2018, 2019, lasted 35 days. Or was it 38? 35, 38 days. Can't remember the exact number, but it was a long time. So there's a lot of people, government employees, government programs that are not going to be funded because of this. So people are going to be in dire straits. So just be aware. But I put that voting up there because the people we're voting into these positions are the ones that decide that they don't have to do anything for you, their constituency. When it comes time to do the budget, they're trying to eliminate programs.
Yes.
All the things you can think about that we've been talking about on this show for how many years, OT? 11 years. I figured I'd throw that little plug. They're 11 years strong.
Yep.
We've been going. And for 11 years, we've been talking about these things. And we see the same thing come around every year when it's time to do a budget. Now, OT, you were saying something before we came on. Let's talk about it. What was you saying about the budget now?
Man, I said, man, this happened every year, over and over and over and over again. Every year around this time is government shutdown. Government shutdown. And,
so how do we fix it?
Vote for different people. Vote for people that you want in office that can help this. Got to vote. That's why we got a purpose. Vote. Yeah. I'm glad you put that up there. Got to vote, y'all. Y'all have to vote. I was
listening to something yesterday, and I heard somebody say that what the Republicans are doing by holding up and shutting down the government, this is something that the former President Donald Trump has told them to do. If they don't give you this, shut it down. Here's what a lot of people don't know. With the government shutting down, it affects his indictments.
Yep.
The DOJ, all that stuff is included in this. So think about why you would want something shut down if you the one being investigated. I ain't the brightest light bulb in the socket, but I do flicker every once in a while. I flicker every once in a while. Yeah. You know, that light that don't come on, but it's beep, 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 like a fluorescent. Yeah. So I don't get it. Sharice Joseph, one of those people, said he would still collect his paycheck and had no concerns about his district. Yeah. And that's where we're at. And these are the conversations, and I'm glad you brought it up, Sharice. Appreciate that. These are the type of things that are being said out loud that they don't care. And they show they don't care about their actions. The shutdown is one part, but when they say they're going to get their check, and I'm not going to stop mine, they're still going to get paid, even though the shutdown is going on, because they wrote something in the legislation that it doesn't affect them. So all the ones out here, like me, you, and everybody we know that may work for the government or military is going to be working for free until they get this resolution passed. The military members out there in uniform, they're not going to get paid. They got to go to work because they're mission essential, but they're not getting paid. And you got government employees in the same situation. So
how about the veterans? How about the ones that's on 100%
no, from what I've seen, it doesn't affect the VA because people with appointments with the VA and all that still goes on. There's different. What it is, and I read it and I should have printed it out, but I didn't want to get too formal today because we 11 years in. I'm formal enough every other week. But what they said was VA appointments won't be affected. But as far as the pay, everybody should have just got paid any disability or whatever because it's the end of the month. Now, as long as it passes before the end of the next month, they should be all right.
Okay.
So I don't know how much it'll affect, but government employees are due to get paid within the next 2-3 weeks. So if they don't get, if it don't come through, whether they get paid, they won't. The ones that are working, they're going to be working, but they'll get retroactive pay after it's over because right now, the way the budget is, there's no money. End of the fiscal year, September 30th, money stops. Because all that money is from FY23. They haven't passed the budget for FY24. So anything that they were trying to buy, any something as simple as fuel, not being able to issue fuel or purchase fuel or anything like that comes to a halt. Mission essential only is what they're talking about. So April Whedon, good morning, sis. Good morning. Appreciate your support. Brian Hoodie, good morning, my brother. Appreciate you. Terrence Collins, TC. Welcome back, my brother. Appreciate your support. Congratulations. Yeah, let's get into this. Yeah, now we got all that stuff out of it. All that. Let's talk about what's important this morning. What's important this morning? 11 years.
11 years, man.
11 years. 11 years, bro. Can you believe it? 11 years.
Man, now, listen, man. Time flies. Time flies, man.
When you're having fun.
Yep.
When you're having fun.
Have fun. Yes,
when you're having fun.
Yes, it does.
But I was reflecting, man, because, I don't dwell. I reflect, dwelling. When you dwell, the mind is the devil's playground when you start dwelling. Everything coulda, shoulda, woulda, that kind of stuff. But I was reflecting over my journey as far as this show. And I said to myself, man, when, we've celebrated 8, 9, 10, now we're at 11.
Yeah.
And I had to ask myself, and I think we talked about it this week a little bit, and I had to ask myself, am I where I want to be with the show? Have I done everything that I wanted to accomplish with the show, or am I just scratching the surface?
Wow, man, you took the question. And you answered.
Well, go ahead and ask the question. Put it in the verbiage you want to use. Put it in the verbiage you want to use. Put it in the verbiage you want to use, my brother.
Well, I mean, the verb that I want to use is basically, reflecting on the start, the 1 year, the 5 years, and the 10 years. What have you learned? What do you think that can be better? Have you even scratched the surface? Is there more to come? Or are you comfortable?
I'll start with that one. I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable. I want to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I say that because I look at, like you were saying, 5 years when it started. I listen to that. I always make it a point when my anniversary comes around. I listen to the first show and I was mumbling and fumbling and, I was, is this thing on? That kind of stuff. I didn't know if it sounded, all the things you can think about you thought may go wrong with that first show you're concerned about. And then, you reflect on that. But I listened to a little bit of it and I said, man, and then I listened to one of the most current shows and I could see the difference in the beginning up till now. Now you go back to 5 and 10. 10 was just last year. So I will start with 10. At the 10-year mark, when I go back and look at where we were at last year, what we talked about on the show, and I asked myself, did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish in this year? No.
Okay.
No. Wow. And I say that because it's hard to fathom it. And I hope everybody gets where I'm coming here. I know I can't change everything, but I know I have to be a start to the change.
Yes.
So when we had these conversations like this government shutdown, I can't control everything with that, but I can put the information out there, and it goes to what I've always said is, if you give people the information, it's up to them what they do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's up to them what they do with it. And with this shutdown, it just made me remember that when I talk about, because sometimes I think it's an exercise in futility per se, when you're telling people get out and vote, make sure you're listening to this, make sure you're doing that. And then you ask yourself, is it even worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And over the last year, we've been talking about elections. We've been talking about the politics, and we've been talking about the prosecutions and the indictments of this former president and everything that's going on in the January 6th, all the different things we've talked about. And then you ask yourself, am I making a difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's at the 10-year mark going into 11. And when I go back to the 5-year mark, it wasn't that deep. It was there, but it wasn't that deep.
Yeah.
At the 5-year mark, we were talking about us growing and learning who we are and life issues and different things like that. So it's Trent Branch, and I don't know if he's on today, but shout out to Trent. But Trent Branch mentioned it one time in one of my shows that I was looking at. He says, it depends on, the show will change depending on the temperature of the environment. I mean, not the temperature of the climate of what we're dealing with at that time. So am I comfortable? No. Have I scratched the surface? No.
Okay.
And I only say that because what I've learned in these years is, and this is going to sound crazy, but if I had taken the time to apply, and one of my teachers said this when I was in school, comparing me to my older brother, she said, you need to apply yourself more like your older brother. My older brother was, shout out Terrence, in his books. He had a goal, he had a purpose, he knew where he was going. I was just going through life. But if I'd have known then what I know now, if I applied myself then to school and education, like I apply myself to getting the information to put out there every day, how different would I be? Not that I would change anything. Don't get me wrong when I say that, but it's a reflection on where you've been, where you're at, and where you're going. The journey. It's all about the journey. But you can always look back over your journey and ask yourself, what if I'd have done this different? Not that you can change it and not that you should change it, but what difference would those things have made? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well,
P-Roll, good morning and congratulations on your answer. Very proud of you, my brother. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it. Willis Cheney. When you reach one and teach one, therein lies. Make a difference. Onward, my brother. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, Sharice Joseph. Congratulations. The growth is definitely visible. Thank you very much. The messages have always been on target. The messages you are delivering here are much needed. I say that you have only touched the surface of your platform. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate all that. Appreciate all that. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Go ahead, you about to say something.
Well, I gotta say, talking about scratching the surface with your show. When I look back and I start analyzing, because I love to analyze things.
Here we go.
When I start analyzing, right, the growth has become visible, and I'm going to say efficient. And the reason why I say efficient, because from the 1 to the 5, it was more of, I'm having fun. Let me see where this goes. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I'm just going to have fun with this right here. Yeah. From the 5 to the 10, you started to change a little bit. You were still having fun, but then you say, okay, let me start getting in depth in things that I want to talk about. And I love it because at the end of the day, when you see the growth and you see it, it's like, yo, even though if you would have knew what you do now, I don't think it would have been as much as fun back then than it is coming up now, because you're still having fun with it, right?
Am I? So, wait a minute. Let me say this, bro.
Man, listen.
Go ahead. I'll come in after. Go ahead.
Listen, you're still having fun with it, right? Because the reason why you're still having fun with it, and I'm going to say it, and people don't realize it, because people might think it's a whole production that's behind you, but there's not a production behind you. When I show people your show, they think it's a production. Like, yo, he probably got a whole bunch of people behind him. Who's doing this? No, it's a one-man show. Fun. You love what you're doing.
See the mouse?
Yeah, right.
You see the mouse?
And things has become fun, and it's still fun for you, because you're not asking for nothing. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. But this is what you call, as people say, you're doing it for the people without no accolades, without asking for nothing. That's fun. And what people don't understand is one thing that I will always say. You've been owning your own for 11 years. Compared to people who are out here doing podcasts, podcasts and shooting their little clippings and videos and stuff, you own every single piece of yours for 11.
I own the masters. I own my masters.
Man, listen, man, you own the masters, bro. How many people can say that for a show and say, I own my masters for 11 years? You can put your show on any platform without no one saying anything and get paid for it. There's no middleman.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true.
So fun, yes. Business wise, 11 years. Hey, man.
Well, now I want to talk about that in a minute because what you just said. Per Bohm, good morning. Congratulations on 11 years is working. I enjoy the topics in the discussion. Appreciate you, Pearl. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to know that, my mom's friends, let me go here. People I grew up with in the church, the ones that used to look out from the choir loft and be like, y'all better get it right. To be tuning in and listening to the show and getting something from it, I truly, truly appreciate it. That's the things that really matter to me. Is not the fact of, the fanfare or anything like that, but that people are listening and they're getting something from it. Because OT, you remember, and I haven't said it as much, but I always used to say, like the pastor used to say, I used to say like if the pastor say, if I can get one,
yep,
if I can get one by the end of the show, not to change your mind, but to make you think differently about whatever topic we talked about, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. But when you transition from being fun, I only ask that, am I be having fun? Because some of these topics we talk about, just go with the injustice in the justice system.
Yeah.
We talk about the guys that served 30 years in jail for crimes they didn't commit or any of that kind of stuff. We talk about cops killing people that look like us and all the different topics we can talk about. It's hard at the time to see the fun in what I'm doing because of the topics. The topics take, and I've said this before, it drains you when you talk about these things because you're rehashing the injustices over and over and over again. And I was telling somebody the other day, it's just like hitting your head against a brick wall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I understand where you're coming from with the fun of it because I enjoy coming on here and laughing and having a good time. But there's some topics that we have to touch on that a lot of people may seem like, oh, there they go again. Because I mentioned last week about the race baiting and all that kind of stuff and everything. But here's one thing that I look at when I listen to other people's podcasts or listen to other shows and, for research purposes, let's be real, for research purposes. I listen to the content and I listen to the message that they're putting out when they're talking about something that I may have talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And what I try to decipher from that is, are they telling these stories just because it's the headline news, or are they telling these stories because it's something that they feel passionate about?
Headline news.
Well, and that's the thing. In a lot of the topics I talk about are headline news, but at the same time, I talk about them because if they're in the headline news, it's probably something touching on something that's a passion of mine, which 11 years of doing this now, I've realized that, over the last 2 years, I've had to take mental health breaks.
Yes.
Just to pull myself away because eventually it starts messing with your psyche.
Yeah.
And that's when you don't realize that you're still having fun with it.
Yeah.
When the mental starts getting a little iffy, you're like, I wake up in the morning and I'll be transparent here. The days that y'all see me put up something that says I may have had, and it's not all the cases, so don't think this way, but it may say that I had previous engagement or I had to take a mental health break. I've actually come in here and sat down and started doing everything that I need to do for the show. And it just ain't feeling it mentally. I'll send it out and say, it's not happening. I'll shut that mixer off, hit this computer, and I'll go back to bed.
That's ownership. That's ownership.
Well, because
ownership too.
Yeah, that's ownership because everybody else be like, hey man, we paying you. You better get back on that microphone. I didn't think about that.
Oh, boy, that's ownership.
Orlando Valentine, congratulations. Keep on speaking on it. God bless. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my brother.
And I gotta say that for you to recognize that, say, you know what, today ain't today. Boom, I'm gonna shut it down. That shows a sign of telling people, and not just telling people for you, I can't do it today.
Can't do it.
I need it today. I just can't do it.
Can't do it.
You told me that. You told me, hey, bro, you need to do this because I didn't see one of your shows, bro. You look like you tired, stressed out, and everything else. And I'm like, I gotta push on. But you told me that.
Right.
I haven't did a show in about what, 3 weeks, because I'm taking a straight mental break.
Give or take a day.
A day.
Give or take a day. 3 weeks and a day.
Yeah.
Give or take
3 weeks in a day.
But I think that's one of. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you need that. And then, like I say, fun is the ownership of it. See, we don't think about everything. Fun is the ownership and say, you know what, today I ain't doing it today. Okay, click your book, send a message out. I'm going back to sleep. Or I'm going to
I think about that.
Right?
I didn't think about that.
That is fun, right?
Yeah.
Because normally, like you said, someone would be like, hey man, gotta do the show. You're like, I can't do it. It don't matter if you can't do it or not. The show got to go on.
Because you're on their payroll.
Yep. So when you have ownership, you can say, nah, not today. I love y'all, but I'll see y'all next week. Same time.
But I still feel guilty, bruh.
For what?
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I understand the ownership and everything like that, but I feel guilty because there are people, just like this morning, that are planning to tune in on Saturday morning to hear what I have to say. So in spite of the fact that I know I need to take a mental health break, it still plays on me because I know that there's certain people that are out there saying, let me get myself together so I can listen to RW this morning. And then when I'm not there, I'll get a text message here, a text message there, say, hey, you on this morning? And I'll be like, nah, I'm not on. But it's a gift and a curse. The gift is the fact that lets me know people are listening. The curse is I feel guilty because they were planning to listen that day. You know what I mean? And it's not to the point that I'm gonna jump off a roof, like I disappointed people. But at the same time, it's one of those things where when you know that you're making an impact and you're doing what you need to do and people are listening and they're expecting to hear what, especially when it's something that's major going on, that they waiting to hear what you gonna say. It's hard to take that mental health break and say, you know what, I can't do it today because you're torn. Because you're torn. You're like, I need to give it to him, but I need to take a break. I need to give it to him because I really got something to say. And if I wait till next week, and they ain't gonna have the same impact, but I need to lay my ass down. But I know I gotta say, you know what I'm saying? That's where that's where it gets hard.
It's hard. But I'll say this to you. To you, right? You look at your archive, and this might blow people's mind, but your archive. Tell them listen to a show a year ago around the same time. And I guarantee you, 85% of the time, it's the same thing that's going on right now. Guarantee. So you've been doing it for 11 years. So we're going to talk about jobs. 11 years, you'll probably have about 4 weeks vacation, 5 sick days, probably about 3 or 5 personal days. During that time for this year, I think you only took about 2 weeks vacation so far, probably about 5 personal days. You still got about 5 more sick days left and 2 more weeks of vacation left.
So you had time to pull all that up?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. I wasn't paying attention. I don't even pay attention to them. You HR now?
Yep, I'm HR.
You HR? You HR for the speak on this show?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Because you gotta realize something, right? The same way you take vacation, you need breaks. Right. Even though you are still the owner of your show, and I'm going to keep on saying that, the owner of your show, right. You still need it just like a job. Because at the end of the day, this is still a job. Mentally, this is still a job, right? You don't have to get up and do it, but you love to do it. So it's still a job because even though you love it, like I said, you love it because you get up, it's about 6:30 in the morning. 5:30 in the 5:30.
5. No, 5. Get it right. 5.
5 o'clock in the morning.
And that ain't counting the hours before.
Yeah.
Friday night when sometimes I don't go to bed until midnight, depending on what research or what I'm trying to read so I can have it.
And you do it. That's why I say you love to do this. Oh,
I love it. Now don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love what I'm doing.
So when they get the information, they love it, right? And what I would tell you is don't feel torn about it, because next week, because here's what I'm going to say, right? You might took your mental break this week, but they know next week is going to be something fire. They say, hold up, man, it took a break. I guarantee you next week, woo.
Ain't it funny how you come back recharged after just
Yeah.
one day
Yeah.
off? Well,
Yeah.
1 week off, when you take that 1 day off. And that's something that I didn't understand. I didn't realize until I go back and start looking at some of the shows, and I'm like, man, I was on fire that morning. What was going on? You know, and then I realized, oh, I was off last week, you know, you know what I'm saying? But the other part is when you get to the point of, and here's the other mental part, you get tired of talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's in the news, it needs to be talked about, but you get tired of rehashing it. However, and I'll put this in there, however, we have to not get comfortable with the things that are going on and say, I heard that last week.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about that no more, because here's where, for me anyway, I feel that we need to keep talking about it. And a lot of people will say, man, I'm tired of hearing that RW keep talking about the same thing, the voting, the politics and everything like that. But what we have to understand, and John Chaney keeps saying it on our barbershop talk, shout out John, we need to get people more involved with how politics work.
Yeah.
Now, do I go deep into it? No. Scratching the surface again, as I say, scratching the surface. But I try to keep it on a level that everybody can understand it. Because when you start getting down in them weeds, that's where people are like, whoa, that's that. I ain't trying to hear all that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I would hope that people go back and read the articles for themselves to see exactly, because I may not touch on everything within what's going on. Just like with this shutdown, you say you heard about shutdown, but you don't know all the intricate details of it.
Yeah.
I don't know everything, but I do know people ain't getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Programs aren't getting funded.
Yeah.
Programs aren't getting funded. So you got, and one of my buddies yesterday, Big Al, was talking to me, and he was talking about the shutdown, and he mentioned daycare. There's a lot of daycares that are affected by this that are going to be shut down because they're funded through government funds. So it's a trickle down effect that affects this shutdown, but it goes into what we're talking about when I start doing these shows, or when I have a show. I try to get as much information I can, but it's an hour show.
Yeah.
It's an hour show. Now, when we were doing 2 hours,
yeah, boy,
people used to be like, man, how you talking for 2 hours?
Yeah.
I said, I give them a break. I give them a little bit of music in there, you know, take them back to the old school, play a little music and play 2 songs, go back in, play 2 songs, go back in.
Yeah, that was
I like that format.
Yeah.
But it 2 hours was a long period of time, because a lot of people's attention span isn't that long. Not to call nobody out, but
the truth, though.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so, but we got some changes coming up.
Yeah.
For the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Once January kicks in, you're gonna see some different things.
Yeah.
Different format.
Mm-hmm.
Different way we doing some things. Let me just put it that way. I won't put it all out there yet. I want to surprise. I want to hit you in the head. You know how people say surprise.
Surprise.
You know, and they don't really mean it. They say surprise. I want to hit you in the head. Surprise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, we gonna get there. So, but 11 years, man, it doesn't seem like 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I only say that because when you're doing something you love, it doesn't seem like a job, one, and it doesn't seem like the time that, you know, when you've been on a job 20, 30 years, obviously you're still at that same job because you enjoy what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Or nobody else will hire you. That's a whole other conversation. You know, I put some resumes out there. Don't nobody want to pick me up. They don't want to syndicate the show yet, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Well, I got to say this, right? When we talk about syndication, because I remember we used to talk about that a whole lot, man. Talk about getting syndicated and stuff like that. But I really want you to start thinking, where is everyone listening from? You got people listening from South. You got people listening from the Midwest. You got people listening from the North. You got people listening everywhere. So you're actually syndicated,
overseas,
but you don't
too.
Overseas. So you're actually syndicated without having the big deal. That's all I gotta say. I mean, we don't look at those kind of things as, we like, yo, man, we got to get syndicated, because that was our main thing. Yo, man, we got to get syndicated. Got to get these shows syndicated. But don't realize, wow, we already syndicated. You already syndicated, man.
Yeah. But you know who made me realize that, and we had talked about it many times just for people to get to understand. We had talked about trying to get on the platform with Roku TV and all those different things to be able to put our show on there. And then, it kind of faded off because we was like, nah, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Because then when you get into that part, now you're talking about somebody owning the rights to your show.
Yeah.
So then you cross that line. But one person that really opened my eyes, and a lot of people don't like this man, but I listened to him. There's some interviews,
What you gonna say, Joe Budden?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not Joe Budden. No. Roland Martin.
Yeah.
Roland Martin has the blueprint of what you can do with your own ownership and being syndicated and still using the free platforms like YouTube.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So I watch a lot of Roland Martin. I listen to his content. Don't get me wrong. Listen to his content. Sometimes he don't let people speak and everything like that. I'm guilty of it sometimes too. I ain't gonna lie. But when you're passionate about what, and I take it to his passion. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who he is. Mm-hmm. And he's been doing this for a long time. Now he has his own platform, his own show. He can say what he wants. He cuss Republicans out on there, all kinds of stuff. He be like, that's boo, But come on my show. I would never do that to you. I would never do that to you. However, I'll call you out if I need to call you out.
Yeah.
But I digress. But the reason I say Roland Martin is because he started off with Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
And he was taking donations from people to keep he's got his own studio now in DC. He showed the progression of that being built. And now he has a platform for other people called the Black Star Network, where he has other shows on there. So he actually has other shows that are under his umbrella. Now you have a lot of them out there that have the same thing. However, somebody owns them. Somebody owns those shows under that umbrella. You know what I'm saying? But he owns what he owns. And that's the thing. And we can get into the ownership, because I know there's a lot of people that want to start a podcast. They want to do these things. But there's certain things you have to understand when you talk about the Joe Budden and $1 million worth of game.
Yeah.
Earn Your Leisure. You talk about these big podcasts that are going on. There's nothing against them and their platforms. I listen to them every once in a while, depending on who they interview. The Pivot.
Yeah.
Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
These were all under somebody else's umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
So they were giving up their rights to actually ownership of their own shows, because why? They were signing these $1 million deals. Mm-hmm. Nothing against it. You want to get that money, get that money. But when are they going to get to the time to say, you can't say that? We don't want you to talk about that. See, they draw you in to give you the money. But then after a while, and we've seen it on TV because we talked about it on certain one.
Yeah.
Look at, I'll bring up somebody that I used to watch a lot, and I still have a lot of respect for him in spite of what happened. Tavis Smiley.
Yeah.
You don't hear Tavis Smiley as much. Tavis Smiley, his show I used to watch every time it came on. Yeah. And I watched it for the content, but I also watched it because of how he dealt with different issues, how he talked to doing different interviews and things like that. Because one thing that you always had to be a student in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You always had to be a student in this game, and understanding that, I would go back and watch it. I go back and listen to Michael Basin's radio show sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He went off the deep end with all his, openness and whatever he got going on. I still follow him. I don't agree with everything, but I'm watching it and listening to it because of the content that he brings. Yeah. And these guys are professionals at what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's not to downplay what they, who they are or anything, but sometimes you have to be a student.
Yep.
And watch and learn. And it's not plagiarism. It's not plagiarism. It's not plagiarism. unless you copy it word for word.
Yep.
Unless you copy it word for word. Yep. There's we've transitioned, and I'll say this in 11 years, from just audio.
Yeah.
To then setting up the iPad to record certain segments because we couldn't have the music on the platform, and then push those out uncut, unedited, and put them out there. Because if you didn't catch it on the audio, we put it up there as a video.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went to more all video, so we were doing video and audio.
Yeah.
Now we're just all video, and I'm thinking about going back to audio, only because when you put these out there, you have some people who would rather hear the audio. They might be driving.
Yeah.
You know, so you want to cater to your audience, but that is the other thing, you don't want to cut yourself off at the knees either.
That's true.
You know, because if you're driving, you know, you got a tendency to look at the phone or what you're playing it on while you're driving, even though it's coming through your speakers, because it's on the phone.
Yeah.
But if you have the audio, you save driving. I'm looking out for the drivers. I'm looking out for the drivers when I say that. You know, when we go, if we decide to go back to audio, you know, you're looking out for them. Looking out for them. But even the visuals, cameras.
Yeah.
Look at our cameras now compared to when we first started. As far as the view. Hell, we got backgrounds now.
Bro, what? Yeah.
All we had was a big head.
Yeah.
All up here. Look, we were like this. This is how we were.
Yeah.
This is what we were.
Yeah.
This is what we had before, where we was just, all you seen was face.
Yep. That's all you seen.
And now we didn't involve. We got backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's those little things. And a lot of people will tell you, and I'll tell you this. There's a lot of people don't understand when you're doing a podcast, you're doing a show, however you want to call it. If your background is distracting, people ain't gonna tune in.
Nope.
No matter what you got to say. So we went to once we went visual, people were like, oh, I got to have my beard right. I can't have nothing on the side of my mouth. Hair got to be cut crisp. You know, got to have the right shirt. All those things come into play. And what people don't realize, and they may, but as you mentioned before, people think we have a full production team. So when you look at my video or OT's video, and then you go back and look at Joe Budden, or you look at, you know, any of those other people, $1 million worth of game, Shit Club, Shay, any of them, they got a camera crew.
Sure do.
They got sound people.
Sure.
And it's not to down talk them, but that comes with costs. And OT ain't never paid me enough to be able to do that up to this point. You know, for y'all that don't know, OT is the one that put me on. That's why, you know, there's a certain amount of loyalty to him as far as doing this, but there's no loyalty coming back in the monetary value of who I am and what I bring to the table. Let's just put it out there.
Listen. I can't say. And it's crazy because we sit back and we talk about where we come. We was ahead of our time.
Oh yeah, at the time.
Right. At the time, we was ahead of the time.
Blog Talk Radio.
Yep. And then had the OT network. And I had about 6 shows?
Oh yeah, under your umbrella, yeah.
Yeah.
Me, speak on the show, Soul Kitten.
Yeah.
Well, let me wait. Before we get into these names. Let me tell y'all something. And this
we was ahead of the time. We was ahead of the time, man.
We was ahead of the time. But let me say this, man. Because me and OT had to have a talk about this. And I want everybody out here to hear this clip.
Yeah, but we had some ratchetness, bro.
Just because you feel you have something to say, don't mean that you should have a microphone.
Oh boy.
Now I understand there's a platform for everything. But what I told OT at the time, because I think everybody that knows me know I stand on certain things.
Yeah.
And the conversations that some of these hosts were having, I told OT, I said, bro, I don't know if I can be on the platform putting my message that I'm putting out there. And then what they putting out there. You have to pay attention to the environment that you're in. You have to pay attention to, even though we weren't friends or talking or anything like that, or we really didn't know each other, the other people that's on the platform, but you had to be aware of the platform you're on and what other messages are being sent out. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You know.
But once again, I mean, you know, we got ratings, bro. Like we did morning shows.
But wait a minute. And when you say ratings, think about the shows that was getting the most ratings. It wasn't ours.
No. No, it was the drama show.
It was the ratchetness.
Yeah, it was the ratchetness shows, man. And until this day, when you think about it, that's what's still going on today.
And that's why
Like,
I went into that. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody want to hear ratchetness. Everybody want to hear gossip. You know what I mean? It's in tune. But when you bring in a different message, it's like, you know, and I got to say this, you know, your 11 years, you have brought the same message over and over again in different ways. Like you said, you started 2 hours, right? You know, playing the music. I ain't gonna lie to you. And y'all listen to those shows.
I missed
y'all listen to those shows back then. Man, I'm gonna tell you, he was jamming. Boy, oh boy, he was jamming. But you know what else though? You know what else that was missing was you having conversation with other artists. Like when you had Capone on, bro. I mean, y'all see, a lot of people don't know.
Capone is a comedian.
Yeah. See,
New York, right? Yeah.
A lot of people don't know you interview some hot people. You know what I mean? You interview some people, right? And that's something that I don't think that a lot of people really know that about you if they just tuning in now. Yeah. But they go back and listen. I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all going to be two things going to happen. You're going to laugh and you're going to be jamming at the same time. Because boy, oh boy.
Well, the interviews are going to be picking back up again.
Yeah,
we're going to start some more interviews on the show. I think it may not be under this specific Speak on the Show platform, but it's going to be somehow. I got some ideas in the works. Let's put it that way. With something. And the thing is, have I interviewed heavy hitters? Yeah, okay. I mean, we both did Michael Baisden, and I'm sure people that listen have told we did Michael Baisden when he had a book release one time.
Well, we did it. We did a senator from Georgia.
Yeah, the Republican senator.
Woo, boy, that.
Yeah, I was like, cut him off, OT.
Yeah,
but that's another story.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is everybody wants to watch the show with the big name.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to interview the big names. That's why you see the industry of these people. If you watch closely, the ones that have podcasts like the Joe Buddens, the $1 Million Worth Game, Earn Your Leisure, they get the big name celebrities to come on their shows and everything like that. For me, I don't know if I want them. And the reason I say that is because I want someone to come that you don't know, that can bring a message to you that may spark something in you to make you, whether it's talking about health and making you go get your prostate exam, whether it's talking about politics and letting you get more involved, or what's going on in your community so you get involved in the community. See, we concentrate and we want to hear what these celebrities have to say in most cases, and there's nothing to knock them. Their celebrity is their celebrity. But at the same time, what's their message? Now, some of them do have good messages.
Yeah.
But when do we hear them? Only on certain platforms. They ain't going to come talk to me. They ain't going to come talk to you unless we go through a publicist and all that. And then some of them want money.
Yeah.
And as I said, OT don't pay enough.
I sure don't.
For me to be having no guest on here that wants some money.
Boy, listen.
You know, and that's the things that you learn in this industry. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Is that it's about connections, but it's also about finances.
Yep.
It's about finances. And you know, but we're gonna look at it. But my interviews are like, I want to do like I did with Dr. Robert Piles.
Yeah.
The owner of the McDonald's and everything that wrote the Big Six.
Yep.
The Mark Cheeks, the interview I did with him with Mark Cheeks Speaks, where he's helping military members transition into the civilian sector. Michelle Sumrall, about the Alzheimer's, and She Scattered is what it was called, her book. We talked about her book, and she's going to be coming back on because she has another book. And so she's going to be coming back on. But those conversations are the ones that we can relate to because we know people that are dealing with someone who may have Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yep.
We know people that are out there that own businesses that are trying to get their businesses and trying to show you the plan to get your business started. We know people out there that are transitioning from one level to another with the Mark Cheeks Speaks, where he can help you transition from whatever job you're in to go to another job. You may not be getting out of the military, but he can help you in those ways. those are the things that I want to put out there, because we don't highlight enough of the help for people at our level. And these are all people that I know either directly or through somebody that can give you the same message that the people sitting on the couch at the Joe Budden show, because they're talking about their entertainment value and what they bring to the table because they're at this level.
Yeah.
A lot of us can only wish or hope, or we're working towards getting at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start here.
Yeah.
Let's start with the person we see every day, the person you may pass in the grocery store, the person you may see at a concert. All those type things is what I look at, because my mindset is getting a message from a Steve Harvey, right? So Steve Harvey does an interview, you listen, you may pick some gems up, some jewels here and there, but can you relate? But if I call an OT on the show and he's talking about his struggles from where he started, where he go to the everyday normal person, and he's talking about how he went from here to here, and he's still trying to get this with just like with your scholarship that you named in your mom, but that you put your mom's name.
Mm-hmm. That
scholarship is out there, just like all those other scholarships. But because a celebrity talks about the scholarship, everybody wants to donate. But if OT brings it up, how many people going to donate? Because they don't know OT.
Listen, man, I want to talk about that.
I'm just saying. I mean, those are the things that I want. I want to help, and I don't want to make it sound this way, but it's just in the verbiage that we use.
Yeah,
I want to help the little guy.
Yeah,
I want to help the little woman. And when I say little, I don't mean like small or whatever. I'm talking about the ones that starting at the ground floor.
Yeah,
the ones that starting at the ground floor that are trying, just trying, and keep trying and keep trying. Not the one that's already up here that's talking down to me, telling me this is what you need to do. Well, yeah, I appreciate the input, but you're there.
One of the guys, one of the comedians said it best. Ali, he said it best when he was on 85 South Show. You have people in the hood that do this, that got more knowledge than the people that's up top, but you don't give them no credit.
None.
You don't say nothing to them. And they do this for a living. And I remember that you sent me that clip, and I was sitting back and I was like, yo, dude, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. You know, and
let me say this real quick. And I just want to put this is a caveat to what you just said. OT just said that I sent him a clip of something that I thought maybe he needed to hear because it touched me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that listen, let me tell y'all something. We go on these social media platforms and we hear different things and we laugh and we'll send jokes and everything like that. And that's cool. But there's always something out there that you hear that may spark your mind to think about somebody specific.
Mm-hmm.
Share it with them. Because we'll share the ratchetness, we'll share the craziness, we'll share, but as far as something that person can take and run with, or maybe something that person's going through that can help them through and everything, start sharing that stuff. And the only reason I say that is because sometimes we get so caught up in, just perusing through social media. Sometimes you have to use social media to your advantage. Like somebody may be looking at this and go through and all of a sudden see the show and decide, let me see what this brother talking about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have done that. And that's where I get a lot of my followers. And I don't have a lot of followers. Let's be real. I don't have a lot of followers. However, the message is getting out there, and the followers I have are loyal. And I'm not going to say followers, but they're loyal people to what I'm doing. But share, subscribe, send it out to other folks, because we're going to be transitioning to strictly YouTube eventually. And I said that before, and I gave everybody a chance to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all ain't done it yet, but when I do it, don't meet me there, beat me there.
Yep. Yep.
Don't meet me there, beat me there. But the YouTube channel, that's where I want to put it, where it's strictly on YouTube, so I can gradually move away from the Facebook platform. Not that anything's bad with it, but if I go to, here's what you got to remember. If I go to the YouTube platform specifically where I can broadcast live, guess what I can do? I can start playing music again.
Say
I
it
can't
again.
do it on Facebook because they'll block it out.
Say it again. Say it again for him.
I can start playing music again.
Mm-hmm.
So then I can incorporate some of that into these things. But that's another conversation. But I'm just saying, share some of those things that you feel are impactful to the people that you know it could impact. That's all I'm saying.
Hold up. And when y'all subscribe to the channel, y'all helping out to monetize it and get a little bit of funding.
Let's talk on that for a minute. Because we talk about this a lot. You know, people be like, you know, I think I've mentioned it a couple times on the shows where people be like, man, how much you getting paid to do that? Not a dime.
Not a dime.
Not a dime. Now, you see a lot of people getting rich off social media.
Yes.
You got a lot of people like Country Wayne, his special's out now. He's got his Netflix special that he got because of his impact on social media. I watched it. Everybody's opinion is different. You know, it was all right. That's my opinion. I may have to watch it again because I think it dozed off. But anyway, what I'm saying with that is we don't get paid to do this. However, it's not about the money. If you want to monetize and if you want to help us monetize, then you subscribe to the platforms that we can monetize from. Because anything that we get from the show, from the monetization, is going to go back into giving you better quality of the show.
Yep.
These cameras ain't free. The mixers ain't free. The computers ain't free. The platform ain't free.
Sure ain't.
However, I'm not going to start asking people like Roland Martin. When I seen he did his campaign to get people to donate, become members and all that kind of stuff, I understand it. But at the same time, I'm like, but that's where we, me and OT, have to work on the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because it's fun, but there's also business to it.
Yeah.
There's also a business side to it because, you know, you can only write off this stuff in one of your taxes one time, but the mixer, the computer, the cameras, you can only write it off one time.
Yeah.
One time. And even if you create an LLC, it goes into a whole nother category and everything like that. So we're going to have some people on. That's some of the other things I want to talk about next year is LLCs and starting S Corps and all that type stuff for people to get an understanding of. If you're starting a business, these are the steps, because you can go read about it, but it's a lot of, it's not English when you start. it starts becoming a foreign language, because I've tried it a couple of times. I've gone in, I've read it, and I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. And I know I need to, but at the same time, I need somebody to break it down to me. And I don't want nobody to get offended. I want somebody to talk to me like I'm a first grader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm in the first grade, and when they used to tell you, your coloring is great, but you need to color in the lines. Stay in the lines. Yeah. That's what I need. That's what I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need somebody to show me how to stay in the lines with the monetization, with the LLC, all those type things. That's the next step to what we've been doing for 11 years. 11 years is fun. When you get into the 20 years, I want to say it's been fun, and it's been profitable, and it's been impactful, and I'm already syndicated, so I can't say that. But there's more people that are being impacted than the amount that are being impacted. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's all. Because boy, it takes a lot out of you. See, people, I would say family, don't realize, because when we have subscribers and we have people viewing it, I call them family. So family don't realize the struggle that we are pinning on ourselves financially to have these conversations with y'all, to give y'all insight, to let y'all meet people that you probably won't never meet behind the scenes with interviews and stuff like that. You know, let you have conversation for your, your business that you got going on. And here we are bringing someone that do it and helping you out for free. Yeah. You know, and it's crazy how it sounds, but it's real. You know what I mean? And people take it for granted. You know, they take it for granted. So I would say family out there, people who are, viewing it, people who are listening, support, share it. You know, it don't take nothing to share it. And sometimes I think when people don't share it, I think they feel kind of embarrassed a little bit. Like, I don't want people knowing that I am into something like this. But it doesn't matter, because you share drama, you share other things. Share it.
But I'm guilty too.
Hey man, listen.
Here's the thing. I'm guilty because I don't even share my own stuff.
Yeah, we
can talk about it right now, because here's the thing. I don't share a lot of my shows. I don't share, sometimes I'll snip them up and post them on my personal Facebook page, not the show page. I'll put a snip out there, put it out there and everything. Everybody like it and everything like that. And every once in a while, somebody say, hey, give me the link to your show so I can watch it on the days it comes on and everything. But in most times, it's just like here, like there, like there. And I do it for me to analyze, as you say, what it's doing, because I have the RW Coolins page on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like I have the YouTube page. But then I'll make a snip and I'll put it on the Rodney W. Collins page. And the amount of likes, hearts, comments on when I post it on the Rodney W. Collins page compared to when I do the show live or Facebook with RW Coolins and YouTube are night and day.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm looking for the likes. It's the fact of people recognize it on one page that's personal, but they won't recognize it on the show page where it's broadcast live every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, YouTube and Facebook, RW Coolins. That's all you got to do. But shameless plug. But what I'm saying, why you laughing? I just had to put that in there. 844-904-2665. That's calling number. Call in no matter what situation is at Westbury. But what I'm saying is this. It's just we're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Because even though most of the people that are friends with me on the Rodney W. Collins are the same people that are friends with me on RW Coolins, they participate on the regular page, not the show page. I can't figure it out. Probably never will. I don't expect everybody to like everything I do. I don't look for it for the likes. I just do that as doing analysis of, if I post this here, why is there more likes over here? Which means people are watching, because you can pull it up and tells you how long people view. It'll tell you 3-second views or a minute view or how long they looked at it compared to over here. So in that analysis, that's where you have to look at it as 11 years in and figure out, okay, how can I grow this?
Yeah.
How can I grow this? Not for the likes, but for the impact. Like I said, the likes just, you can look at something. Oh, that's Rodney. Oh, that's RW Coolins. That's, and just click it. Don't mean you watched it. But on YouTube, it tells you how many views.
What does it?
It tells you how many views.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference in the different platforms. And I don't want to go down there. We had to do a show specifically about the social media and how the likes can be. I don't want to say fake, but it can give you false hope or false sense of what you're doing. Let's just put it that way.
I'll be honest with you, being in this industry for so long.
How many years you got now? 14, 15?
This year will be 15 years.
I just want to put that out there. OT show, 15 years in the making.
15 years. And seeing how people are paying for things to get exposure and algorithms and stuff like that, I just can't see myself doing that, man. It's so crazy, because you might see somebody that has 1 million followers, but then 75% of them are fake.
Let me ask you this though, and I want everybody to listen to this question when I ask this question, because y'all heard me and OT talk about it's not about the likes, it's not about this. We're doing it for impact and everything. But 11 years and 15 years in, do we need to change our mentality? Do we need to stop looking at it as from a humble standpoint?
Yeah.
And look at it from a standpoint of, let's get it. And I only ask that because if you think about it, we're talking about monetizing. And if we're going to monetize, then we got to be fully invested in how to make the monetization work and to profit off it if we're going to monetize. So now we got to come up with a balance of impact, monetize.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to step back for a minute and stop saying it's not about the likes, it's not about this, because each like is the monetization aspect of it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? And I go back and forth because I consider us to be humble
Yeah.
individuals.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I don't want to pee on your head and tell you it's raining.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe we got to step back and look at it and say, wait a minute, 11 years in, 15 years in, let's flip it. Let's start flipping it to the point that we can still have an impact, but also monetize at the same time to get more people involved in what we're trying to do. Because you have to bring people in to hear the show in order for them to know what the impact is going to be. Because everybody's going to take something different away.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. I mean, you know, we're not trying to beat anybody up when I bring up Earn Your Leisure, Joe Budden. I'm not trying to beat them up for what they do. But at the same time, maybe we got to change our thinking and get more involved in what's going on around us, because it seems like everybody monetizing this thing but us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And after 11 years, I need 11 years to pay off this camera.
What?
To pay off this computer, you know. And I say that jokingly, but I think we gotta shift our thinking. Yeah, we gotta shift our thinking. Yeah, and that's all it's about. We have to shift our thinking now, because we're still, and I hate to say that, we're still stuck in the blog talk radio mentality to a certain extent. Yeah, you know, we're doing this for fun. We're just having fun with and everything like that. But at the same time, now if we want to get into the groove, and we got to look at, when we're talking about the monetization, now we got to change something about us. Everybody's not going to change for us. We have to change for them in order to get what we want. And I'm just throwing that out there because it's something that I go back and forth about. I don't want to ask nobody for no money. I don't want to ask nobody, you know, hey, go and like this. But at the same time, for us to be able to put the message out on a wider scale, then we got to start thinking about the wider you know, net that we want to cast. So 11 years.
11 years. 11 years, man.
Bro.
11 years, man. Dude, man. Listen, man. 11 years, man. And wow. Woo. You went from Vegas to DMV, back to Vegas.
Oh yeah, when I started the show. Yeah. I'm international.
Yeah.
I'm international. Yes, when I started doing shows on vacation, y'all know. Yeah, it's at a different level. You know, when I say I'm coming to you live from Aruba, then you know we done went there.
But you know what though? You know what's crazy? That we was doing shows like that when we was on Blog Talk on vacation.
Because we were doing where we was at.
Yeah.
No, but they couldn't see the scenery we seen.
No.
Nah, you know, so we gotta travel now. We gotta travel. But we got some big things coming up. Me and OT are collaborating on some things, man. And as OT mentioned in the beginning of the show, we used to do a morning show.
Yeah.
You know, we used to do and there was a lot of participation in the morning show we were doing. It was some, you know, it was just having fun. We didn't get all into the politics and everything. We had a thing called Weird News.
Yeah, dude.
That we used to do. And I used to go out there and just search for news that was out of the ordinary,
man. And it was a lot of weird news though.
And there was a lot of weird news. And there was one, and I'll just bring this up and then we're gonna let this go. But there was one I brought up, and it's the first one that comes to my mind, is where there was an older gentleman that was paralyzed. And he found this stray dog. He took the stray dog home. Now, mind you, he's paralyzed from the waist down. So he said he woke up, he felt something warm in his crotch area. And he looked down, and the dog had chewed his genitalia off. We laughed about it, but at the same time, we had to sit back for a minute and say, well, wait a minute. How's that happen? But that's the kind of news it was, but that's along the lines of what we were doing. But we want to bring some of that kind of stuff back just to have fun. So because OT does serious interviews, when he does his interviews, you know, I bring you the politics and everything that's going on, but we want to mesh. We want people to see our humorous side.
Yeah.
You know, not only when we do this barbershop talk, which is something that is getting good reviews from a lot of people. They enjoy it. A lot of people want to come in and everything. So if you want to be on the barbershop talk, reach out to me and let me know. But I want people to see me. The full spectrum, not just, I'm tired of these politicians. I'm tired of this. I want people to hear me, you know, back when I was a young type, that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? The humorous side, because I feel, and I was talking to Brian Hoodie the other day, and I said, sometimes I feel that I'm not laughing. And I talked about this last year.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing. Now that we're doing the barbershop talk, I can laugh a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm not laughing enough about life or in life.
Yeah.
There's certain things we should laugh about, certain things we need to be serious about. And I feel that you're getting the serious rather, because I'm a comedian. I'm a funny dude.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I'm a funny dude. I don't just say that for me, but I'm a funny dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just haven't been able to show. So, we may have to have, something else to, because we've been brainstorming. We're not going to put it out there yet, but we got some things coming. So, but we're going to wrap this up, man. So anything else you want to talk about, man? Because, we're out 11 in.
Yeah. I just wanted to say one thing, on a serious note, kids, right? Mm-hmm. Parents and kids, talk to your kids about recognizing things, their surroundings, because it's things that are not being talked about. There was 30 kids missing in Ohio.
Yep.
No hot news. 30 kids missing in 1 month. Ages ranges from 12 to 18.
Yeah, I see.
85% is African
American.
So I need y'all, because I have a 16-year-old. So I talk to my 16-year-old about recognizing your surroundings. We need to start talking about this. This is serious. Now, I know the government shut down, but there's other things along this line that is happening around us that we need to get serious about. So grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins,
everybody.
We need to start having these conversations, especially with the social media and the computers and everything that's going on. There are grown people baiting young kids by having young kids bait them to bring them to them. Let me say it again, y'all. While your kids might be thinking they're talking to another child, that child might be involved in baiting that child to come to another area and have the adult take them.
Yeah.
It's out
sex trafficking. Sex
trafficking is real. It's out there. We gotta start talking about this.
Yeah,
it's serious, y'all.
We'll look at it, and I'll probably touch on it next week when we look at it. But it's something serious. And whenever I hear these stories, I think back when I was a young kid and the thing that was going on in Atlanta.
Yeah,
where all those young African American boys were being snatched up.
Mm-hmm.
Same type thing. So we got to be cognizant of what's going on. And I tell everybody, not just for our kids, but for everybody. The environment in the United States of America right now is testy. I'm just going to use the word testy.
Yes.
And we all should be aware of what's going on. We should be aware of our surroundings, because everyone does not have your best intentions at hand. I mean, your best interests at hand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their intentions. And I hate to say it this way, but I hate for their intentions that they may have for you to be a victim of what they choose to do.
Yep.
Now, we can't be 100%. God's in control. And you always hear me say God's in control.
Mm-hmm.
However, we also need to be aware of what's going on around us. And sometimes we get caught up in all these other things going on, and we lose focus of what we need to be focused on. So, it's one of them things, man. Yeah. It's just one of them things. But we're going to keep bringing you topics. We're going to bring you topics that you need to hear about, topics that you may not want to hear about, that you need to know about. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have some fun with it. I mean, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and get to the level where we're increasing and doing things differently. So we got holidays coming up. We'll be talking about Thanksgiving, Christmas, and, all that kind of stuff. It's around the corner. We're at the end of 2023. We're 3 months left in 2023. So I asked this question, and before we go off, and I'll say, each year I'll come up with something. This year is being the best you can be, being the best you.
Yeah.
Finding who you are and being the best you. You got 3 more months to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that December is the end of it all, where you won't know anything after that. But you should have some idea over these last 12 months exactly where you stand in this world and where you stand as a man or a woman, and how you're going to go forward into 2024, because 2024's focus will be something different to build on what we focused on in 2023.
I agree. I
That's
agree.
what it's all about.
Man, yo, remember the Thanksgiving shows. Ooh,
Yeah.
early in the morning jamming.
Man.
Early in the morning.
While you're out there, with your robe on, basting the turkey, cutting them greens,
yeah,
and jamming to some Al Green.
Man.
That's what we doing. So we at that time of year, man. It's getting cold, it's getting cool. This is the type of time of year where we spend more time at home. Mm-hmm. This is the time of year where we should be getting into books.
Yeah.
Reading those books.
Yeah.
Getting online and researching things, trying to figure out what your next grind is going to be, because most of us, other than OT, most of us are getting close to that retirement age.
Yes.
And now that we're close to this retirement age, now the thing is, once you close that chapter, what's the next chapter you're going to start writing for yourself?
Yeah. Well, I'm reading
that. I'm in that mix. Y'all in that mix. I'm reading the book White Fear by Roland Martin.
I'm reading the autobiography of 50 Cent. 50 Cent book. Boy,
it's good.
I'm going to tell you, he broke down some things, man. That, yeah.
Well,
maybe look at it differently.
So I want you to have that same energy when I write my book. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Hey man, I
ain't 50 Cent, but I ain't no quarter either.
Woo, bro! Listen, man. You already know. Support 100%, no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got to. Well, as we always say before we sign off, love yourself, love one another, keep your head up, and most definitely keep your faith in God. We'll be back again next week with another show. Maybe we'll have OT, depending on what we're talking about, but we're going to do what we do. I appreciate everybody. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be safe out there. We'll holler. Peace.